Nashville, Tennessee, and I've got Taylor Swift here to accompany me. Got the sunrise kind of over the mountains there. Next stop, Columbia, Missouri. Well, looks like rain. We'll see what happens. I have actually done this drive before in the rain. If you're going fast enough, and I'm not talking about speeding, I'm just saying, if you're going more than 50, the rain genuinely just goes over top of you, and a convertible is not an issue. So we'll find out. Starting to see some fall color here. Go ahead and put the top up, which does improve fuel economy, fun fact. Just past exit 69, and I'm 69 miles from St. Louis. St. Louis, and there is the arch. The infamous arch that I could not see on my first route through St. Louis a few weeks ago. So, that's it. Now I'm headed to Kansas City through Columbia. Oh, this was always my favorite bridge on all my previous Nashville trips. Hashtag CrashNash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's got to be at least a dozen now. A dozen Nashville trips in the last 10 years. That is what a 35-minute delay looks like. So, one reason to use Waze or Google Maps almost every time you drive is for things like that. Like, I knew how to get to Columbia and Kansas City. I've driven this road hundreds of times. But if I hadn't used those, I wouldn't have known to get off and exit a little bit further back where there was no traffic. And now I am just cruising along. Going to stop by my grandpa's house first, actually both grandparents, and might pick their mind on some of their cars back in their day, and maybe what their favorite road trip is. Always interesting conversation starters, and everyone's got a story. That's what's interesting about non-car people can still relate to cars, which is a lot of fun. So my grandpa Elmer, he is 95, and we'll be there in just a couple of minutes, but yeah. He's 95, still drives, still works. What a man, what a legend. All right, made it to Ashland, Missouri. There's my grandpa.
My first car was a Buick. It was a 1938, 39, big car, Buick car. Bought it for $100 and left it sit in the middle of an intersection one day as I was picking grandmother B up from work, and the car stopped and it would not start. And again, so we just let it sit there. That's the last I saw of my first car. Oh, went from Michigan down to Florida, and we went through the mountains, and at that time we had a Ford, it wasn't a Falcon, it was a Ford station wagon. That's what they call it, a station wagon at that time. We took a helicopter ride. and that I will never forget them, because the helicopter pilot said usually we only take 2 people at a time, and there was B and myself and David and Christopher. He said, I think we can do it. There was no door on the helicopter, just an open space, and he cranked it and sat there for the longest time just trying to get up enough speed to lift us up off the ground. And finally we got up about, maybe 100 feet, And I had my camera around my neck, and that's where it stayed. Because I wasn't going to let go. To me, a car is a means of transportation. I really don't fall in love with a vehicle. It is what it is. 4 wheels that have an engine in it and make it go. I've had Ford and Chevrolet and Mazda and Chevrolet, and they take me from one place to another, and as long as they do that, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't go out and hug my cars or anything like that. Park them in the garage and let them be.
So, as you can tell, my grandpa, he's very German, and cars serve strictly utilitarian purpose for him, merely a tool or an appliance. So I did not get my car enthusiasm from him, or perhaps his side, although my dad and uncle are both pretty enthusiastic about cars, so it's not a hereditary trait necessarily, but it still is something. So I'm heading to Colombia and see my next set of grandparents on my mom's side, which I think my enthusiasm for cars comes a bit more from that side. My grandpa has kind of the mechanical mindset, and my grandma loves a good roadster, so here I am in mine. Let's do this. Okay, normally I'm fine driving with the top down and it's raining, but it is lightning everywhere, and that over there is heavy rain, so I'm not taking my chances putting it back up. Yeah, that was short-lived. That dude's like, what is that guy doing? My old stomping grounds when I wanted a fun road was basically this. So really sad in comparison to Colorado, but pretty cool as far as the scenery and everything. Well, my car now smells like wood. I am basically a courier of some kind. Courier of some kind. My friend Sophie asked if I could bring this handmade chess set back to Colorado because she's returning it. Now I'm heading to my other grandparents for dinner. See if I can pick their brains on their first cars, favorite trips, favorite cars. Be a good time. What can I say? My grandma is a gardener. Hello.
Welcome
My first car was a 1947 Plymouth 4-door. It looked like an upside down bathtub. I bought it from my dad. That was his car. You'd think he gave it to me. No, he had to charge me $150, and that was in 1960. No, it was 1958.
It was a 1964-65 Plymouth Fury. It was a light blue, and it had 3 stripes in the back, red, white, and blue. And it was totally sharp.
2-door hardtop.
Yes, 2-door hardtop. I never think about favorite cars, but I really like that car.
Yeah.
I think my favorite car right now has been the 2018 Camry Hybrid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that car. It's like driving a sports car.
One that I really, really loved was we went to Niagara Falls. That was probably one of my favorite vacation spots, and we drove through Upper New York. I really enjoyed that.
If I can include flights, then it would be our honeymoon trip to Alaska in a Super Cub.
Yep. I mean, that's about the same size as a car. You just got wings on it.
A small car, about the size of your Miata. I think it would have to be another honeymoon trip in the Volkswagen. Right after we got married, we took Mom and Dad's Volkswagen camp mobile.
Yeah, that was a couple years after we were married.
A couple years after we got married.
Yeah.
We drove out to the mountains to, I don't know where we ended up.
The car was, or the van was just like cut off in front, and so when you're sitting there, it's like you're almost outside.
Yeah.
Strange feeling.
She got road sick.
Because you're kind of over the front wheels, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're actually sitting right on top of the front wheels.
All right, leaving grandparents on to Kansas City. Had to wait out a crazy storm. 60 mile an hour winds, quarter-inch hail. Fortunately, no hail right on top of me, but that was like monsoon level, chaotic. So, time to trek across mid-Missouri. Gotta love it. Meeting Brian again. He was my first stop and my last stop. Except instead of at his house, second best coffee. Which I would argue is probably the best coffee shop in Kansas City. There's his sick Mazda 3. Okay, I need some freaking coffee. There he is. My 40th time through the Kansas corridor. Wow, can't believe I've been here 40 times. But ETA, with a freaking chessboard. ETA back home about 4 o'clock local time. And that will be the conclusion of this leg of the road trip, which, I mean, it's basically a full East Coast road trip. Although I never actually went to the coast, but pretty close to it. So let's see what's my mileage at here. So I've done 4,080 miles, and I have 600 miles to go. So that is about roughly 4,750 miles. So not quite 5,000 miles total. Holy cow. It's been a good time. Saw many people, many things. Lots of solid photos of the car. I have Instagram content for weeks to come. And yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the trip back. Nice cloudy day, which I do prefer to bright sun. Might even get the top down for a bit if it warms up maybe a little bit. And just gonna take it back. We'll see how these roads are with the new suspension. That'll be interesting. I know a while back I said I thought it was almost too soft, but when I get to the rough roads, I really realize how hard it is compared to the stock like floaty springs. So I'm gonna say it's perfect as it is, and I may adjust later down the road, and I may buy those adjustable extensions. I know you can do that, so you don't have to take apart the whole trunk just to adjust your coilovers. So we'll see, but I'm ready for this trip to be over and spend some time at home. That is the Honda Civic with the HDMI port exhaust. Love it. That's all I think about now is HDMI port exhaust. Beautiful trees. Still in Kansas. Are we there yet? No, we're not. All right, coming up to my second to last gas stop. Oh, it's been so many gas stops. I mean, over 4,000 miles, that is, what, like 15, 20 tanks of gas? Easily. They weren't all full fill-ups, but yeah, it's gotta have been 20 miles. If I had a larger than 10-gallon gas tank, I could go further. But I've been averaging just under 30 miles to the gallon. I could do the math, and it'd probably depress me how much money I've spent on this trip. But I've stayed nearly everywhere free except for that one Airbnb. Nice 45 degrees, and the gas light just came on. I've found that when the gas light comes on, you can easily do another 25 miles or so, but I'd say don't push it. But I got worried. I got distracted with my audiobook and then forgot to pay attention to gas. And I was like, oh no, the gas light. But then I found, yeah, I didn't have to turn around and go back to Hayes. Thanks to this little hole in the wall place. Let's get her done. Back to the land of 91 being premium. And we made it back to Colorado. Not sure how many states it's been at this point. At least a dozen. But yeah, there's the sign everyone freaks out about. Let's take photos. So I'm back to the mediocre roads. See how the lowered car does. It's only about an inch and a half lower than stock, I think, so could be far worse. But yeah, that's the scenery. It's kind of sad that you don't reach Colorado and see some majestic mountain range. It's funny because the sign back there even said, "Welcome to colorful Colorado." Very, very colorful Colorado. There it is, first glimpse of mountains. If you can see that. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But about 100 miles out from Denver, and I can finally see mountains. Oh, it feels so good. Eastern Colorado doesn't have a whole lot. Actually, Kansas has more than Eastern Colorado. And I'm also calling audible going up to Fort Collins instead of going straight home. Got some work to do tonight with Out of Spec, which is one of my other outlets I assist with. Shameless plug. Yeah. So, the road trip is extended just ever so slightly up to Fort Collins. It's only an hour north of me, so not bad, but oh, my butt is sore. I'm about 4,600 miles in, and it's a long time. Beautiful this time of year. Holy cow, look at that. I am going to wash my car and get all of Kansas off my car if I can. Those freaking bugs. Look at that windshield. I don't know if you can see that. But it's pretty bad. And the front of the car looks even worse, trust me. Hate it. Fifth gear this whole time. This literally won't, like, I mean, I could squeeze it, but then I'd just be rubbing on this board, so not bad for a 5-speed this last leg of the journey. This is my final stop before home. Out of Spec Studio headquarters, full of EVs. We have 2 Model 3s right now. We're doing this AMG A35, of course, Winnebago Revel, and a Nissan Leaf, and a smart electric car. So, good variety.
I mean, this is a hard intersection to get through. Also, I'm curious if it's going to curb the wheels when we have to turn right up here, although I don't think it's quite programmed really where we need to go. I'm going to put it. Oh, it's going at a yellow light. Oh. It's about to turn, and it turned off the system. I'm taking over. I grabbed the wheel a little hard there to stop it from turning, but it kept accelerating.
That was a little scary.
That was sketchy.
Oh, finally almost home. So I went up to Fort Collins, and me and Kyle got a hold of a Tesla Model 3 that had the brand new full self-driving beta 10.3.1, which is, as of today, like the newest beta came out today. And that was very scary, having the Tesla drive us around town completely autonomously, theoretically speaking. It actually was not capable. We had to take over a few times, and some very scary, not like extreme close calls, but yeah, that was unnecessarily frightening. So, but yeah, nearly back, done. So that's the 4th time on the odometer trip meter thing. So 4,777. So yeah, just shy of 5,000 miles on the trip, which is more than I expected. I was rough estimating 4,500, so pretty close. That's still East Coast time, thank goodness. So it's 9:50 here, local time. And what a trip. Wow, yeah. All right, I will film a wrap up and jump to that right now.
Road trips. If you're not a car person, it's something you often do begrudgingly. You have a destination in mind, determined to simply make it there. You'd probably rather fly, but honestly, driving tends to be a bit cheaper. Heck, if teleportation were real, you'd make that your new top priority. But for car people, specifically people who love their car, it's all part of the adventure. Sure, the destinations play a key role and maybe create the trip to begin with, but it's the parts in between that really make the adventure what it is, providing the substance and even a gauge to understand just how expansive the ground is that you cover. So, thanks for joining. This trip probably means more to me than anyone else, and it was a tremendous experience. I mean, honestly, I filmed it for myself to look back on in the future, but I'm excited to see some others have enjoyed it too. And if you've made it this far, that's you, so thank you for watching. Sure, I'd do 1,000 things differently, or better from a production standpoint, but I don't for a second regret documenting this journey just how I did. I will definitely do more trip films in the future to further hone those skills. I learned a lot, and I will forever cherish these 5,000 miles out east.
Hey dude, what's up?
You did it. That son of a gun did it. 5,000 miles and it looked like a blast. I need to get a Miata.
Dude, you're too tall. You wouldn't even fit in a Miata.
Son of a bitch!